Pro pickleball players use this formula to determine where to return serve. And if you do this right, it's going to be very, very difficult for your opponents to score on you. In this video, I'm going to give you my approach to returning in pro pickleball matches. First, we've got to assess the quality of our opponent's serve. Returning Colin Johns' serve is going to be a lot different than trying to return Deckel Barr's serve. If I'm facing a really strong serve, the returning strategy hasn't changed a ton. So whether I'm on the even side or the odd side, I'm generally just going to be returning right back to the server. So this gives me the biggest margin for error because it's the longest angle and it's also over the lowest part of the net. One more there. You can also catch the server creeping inside the court and force them back behind the baseline. When you return back to the server, the ball travels the longest distance, which also gives you more time to get all the way up to the kitchen line.
Of air molecules, and when you provide spin on that, or is that who we played with in the fives last year? I gotta wait for the...
All right, so now for the real meat and potatoes. What do we do when we have options? If our opponent is like an average or a weak server, and we can sort of choose where we want to go with these returns. From the even side, the return that I like the most is putting the ball deep right in front of myself. What that does is it's going to allow my partner to shift over towards the middle and look to poach with their forehand here.
Navratil, but they're doing a good job of picking spots early.
The vulnerability here is that your opponent could potentially drive at you as you're approaching if you don't hit a good enough return. If you're stacking, putting the ball in front of you also makes it more difficult for your opponent to hit a passing shot. When I'm on the odd side here, I still like a good aggressive return to the left side player back there, especially if I can get it over to their backhand. If I get it to their forehand, they've got some good options. They can probably drive the ball or hit in a pretty aggressive drop. But if I'm able to hit a return hard enough and get it over to that backhand side, I pretty much know that they're going to be dropping that ball back towards me. And it's going to allow me, as the left side player, to play pretty aggressive there as well.
Pablo for that backhand that he's been running around.
This video is brought to you by Lobster ball machines. I use my Lobster to drill specific shots multiple times per week. There's nothing better for getting into a groove on a shot that you're trying to master than using your Lobster ball machine. Partners like Lobster make it possible for me to make these videos, so please use the link in the description to check them out and use the code below to save money on your order.
So if I'm playing with a lefty as my partner and I'm on this left or odd side, I might also try and keep the ball in front of myself, just like I did when I showed you the even side return. If I keep the ball in front of myself here, it allows my lefty partner to sort of step over and take a lot of shots with their forehand. So it's just the opposite of what I was doing from that even side prior to this. So previously, and even in videos that I've made, I taught you guys to return serve like an approach shot. Now, players are actually hitting these return of serves more like an aggressive passing shot, where we're not moving through quite as much, but we're focusing on the shot quality. Take a look at how that looks different. All right, now I'll do the second way. This is the new way that people are returning. One more. So what we're doing is we're increasing the shot quality, but we're decreasing our ability to get to the net. So it's definitely a trade-off. When I stand here and I hit this more like a ground stroke, I can get a little bit more topspin on it. I can probably hit it harder. I can hit it a little bit more accurately. But what I'm doing is I'm giving up my ability to move through the shot and get to the net. My hope is that I can hit a good enough quality return and my partner can also cover for me a good amount here. So this is a very, very nuanced strategy, and it's not something that pros are doing every single time either. There's still certainly a time that you want to move through your return. If you've mastered that, maybe you can throw this into the mix every once in a while. But next time you watch pro pickleball, you might see this on the courts. The return is going to be the biggest weapon of 2025, so make sure that you capitalize on it. If you have any questions on this video, check out my Cameo. The link is down in the description. If you ask me a question, I'll provide a personalized video response for you there. And please, whatever you do, for the love of God, just stop slicing your returns, and here's why.